All right, let's get right into it. We're going on a little trip today, deep into the heart of one of the world's most beloved food cultures, well, to uncover the real story of Italian cuisine. So, let me ask you something. When you hear the words Italian cuisine, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? Just take a second and picture it.
I'm willing to bet for a lot of you, it's something like this. A giant, steaming plate of spaghetti and meatballs, right? I mean, it's a classic. You see it everywhere. Or maybe it's a super cheesy pizza, just piled high with all kinds of toppings. You know, that Friday night go-to for millions of us all over the world.
Okay, so those images, they're powerful, for sure. But what if I told you that's not even close to the whole story? That the Italian food you think you know? Well, it might just be a delicious myth. So, here we go. Let's dig into the main course of this whole thing. The myth of Italian food. Because we're about to find out why your idea of this cuisine might be, well, wonderfully and fascinatingly wrong. And look, this quote really hits the nail on the head. It says that the cuisine includes various diverse regional gastronomies. And that word right there, diverse, that is everything. See, it's telling us there isn't one single Italian food. There are many. So, how did it get so diverse? To figure that out, we have to look at the history. And this isn't just a story about food, you know? It's more like a recipe that's been cooked up over centuries of change, of conquest, and trade.
And this timeline? Wow. It really shows you what a long, slow simmer this history has been. I mean, way back in the 4th century BC, you've got Greek Sicilians talking about simplicity. Then, boom! Fast forward to the 9th century, Arabs show up in Sicily and introduce things like durum wheat. You know, the stuff that makes pasta. But the biggest game changer? That doesn't happen until way later, when the New World Exchange brings in tomatoes and peppers. And get this, it wasn't until 1891 that a cookbook even tried to start putting all these different regional recipes together.
Just let that sink in for a second. The tomato, the one ingredient we all think of as the most Italian thing ever, it didn't really become a big deal there until the late 18th century. That's wild. It completely changes how you think about it, doesn't it? Okay, so let's see how all that history actually plays out in Italy's kitchens today. And the biggest, most dramatic split you'll see is between the North and the South. Honestly, they're like two completely different culinary worlds, all because of their unique landscapes and histories. Just look at this breakdown. Up in the North, it's cooler, there are plains, so they lean on things like butter, rice for risotto, and cornmeal for polenta. It's, richer, heartier stuff. But then you go down to the sunny South, and it's a totally different story. It's all about olive oil, that durum wheat for pasta, fresh veggies like tomatoes, and of course, tons and tons of seafood. It's like they have two completely different pantries. And believe me, it gets even more specific than that. Seriously, forget the term Italian food. If you're in Lombardy, you're eating saffron risotto. In Sicily, you're having these amazing deep-fried rice balls called arancini. Go to Sardinia and it's spit-roasted suckling pig, or Abruzzo for skewers of lamb. Every single region, heck, sometimes every single town, has its own special thing. Okay, so we've established it's all incredibly diverse. It sounds like a total patchwork, right? But there is one powerful idea, one philosophy that really ties it all together. And that, my friends, is the soul of all Italian cooking: simplicity. That philosophy has a name. It's called cucina povera, which literally translates to cuisine of the poor. But hold on, it's not about being cheap, not at all. It's a whole mindset. It's about taking simple but really high-quality seasonal ingredients and turning them into something incredibly delicious. It's all about resourcefulness, making magic with what you got. And this really is the key takeaway. The magic isn't in some complicated recipe with a million steps. Nope, it's in the ingredients themselves. A perfect sun-ripened tomato, a handful of fresh basil, a drizzle of amazing olive oil. That's where the flavor is. It's not about what you do to the food, it's about the food itself. So, if the real deal is so simple and so regional, how in the world did it become this massive global phenomenon? Well, the story of how it went from those little Italian kitchens to tables all over the planet is a pretty fascinating tale of migration and marketing. As Italian food got more and more popular, this really strange thing started happening. It's called Italian sounding, and it's basically when companies slap Italian-sounding names and flags on their products, even when those products have absolutely nothing to do with Italy. It just goes to show you how powerful the brand of Italian food has become.
And just how powerful is that brand? Try this on for size. The global market for these fake Italian-sounding products is estimated at a staggering 55 times billion euros. That's more than the entire economy of some countries, all built on the idea of Italian food without any of the actual substance.
And if you need another statistic to blow your mind, here it is. Get this. A whopping 2 out of every 3 products sold worldwide as Italian aren't actually from Italy. It's crazy. It means that the global idea of Italian food is kind of taken on a life of its own, totally separate from the real thing.
So all of this, it brings us to one last really tricky question. You have this food with incredibly diverse regional roots. Then you have its global versions, the reinventions, and even the outright imitations. It's always evolving, which leaves us with something interesting to chew on. In a world like this, what does the word authentic even mean anymore?